Our next speaker is Mike Fritz, and he is a speaker, trainer. He has been on stage with some of the most famous people in the world. He's been on all of the broadcast media you can imagine, and he teaches about how to be a magnetic speaker. Mike, come on up.
Thank you so much, Viki. Give Viki one more round of applause.
Here you go. Yes, you do.
Fantastic, fantastic. Give it a round of applause. Where's our lady that just shared about all those books she wrote? Where is she? Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming up and sharing that. That was absolutely fantastic. One of my, let's start the presentation. All right, I hate going right before lunch and right after lunch. Before lunch, you're like, shut up. After lunch, you're like, shut up. So I understand the bookend of the lunch scene. I've been at this. So, but anyway, how many of you have written a book already? Raise your hand up high. How many of you believe within that book holds a message that if you told somebody, their life would change? That is why I love. Now, why did you guys come to this event? Somebody scream out, why are you here? Get an award. She's like, I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm here. Why else? Connections. Learn something. What else? Right here. Be inspired. What's this? Have a good time. One of the things I love about this industry is no matter if you've written a book, no matter if you are an internet marketer, no matter what you do, have you noticed that people of influence eventually go from here to here and speak? Have you noticed that? It's the greatest 6 feet of credibility in the world. From there to here. In fact, my next book is going to be called 6 Feet. Because it is literally what adds credibility to you. It's the most powerful piece of credibility after you have your book that you have. If internet, I always say this about internet marketers that always claim internet marketing is the only way, to generate money, and then they're speaking. I'm like, if internet marketing is so good, stay home and click your mouse. If mouse even exists anymore, you know what I mean, though, right? But just in the next few minutes, I'm just going to tell you how you can add another $5,000, maybe $10,000 of additional income with your book through speaking. Is that okay if I go over that with you? You guys okay with that? All right, fantastic, fantastic. Let's go into it quickly. Wow, how to quickly. All right, good. How to quickly, and then it took 7 days to show up. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic? It's time, I believe that people should be paid to share their message, including you. And so speaking is all about taking a message you have and communicating it in a way that people want to hear it. How many of you are a little bit nervous to stand up and speak in front of people? It's okay. Raise your hand up high. Do you know that it is the #1 fear in the world? Above dying. That seems a bit extreme to me. Like, would you like to speak? No, I'll just die. Just kill me now. I'll just take me. I think that's a bit extreme, don't you? I'm like, oh my goodness. But people are terrified to death of it. Can I tell you, it's not the stage people are scared of. Why are people so scared to speak? Yeah, it's the people in the audience. Has nothing, yeah. It's afraid of being judged by all the people, correct? Isn't it awesome when you come to a thing like this and you meet people where the judgment goes away and everybody literally wants you to be successful? You know what I found in my life? It's a lot easier to weep with those who weep than rejoice with those who rejoice, because oftentimes jealousy kicks in. You ever had somebody like that? They're jealous of your success. They can't push you to the next level. That's why I love being in rooms like this. That when I tell somebody my success, it's a celebration. Find friends like that, right? That's the kind of, when you find those friends, no matter what Facebook tells us, friends take a lifetime to build. When you find those people, hold on for dear life, right? Facebook has taught us that friends are a click away. You remember back when, I love the transgression of this. When Facebook, first thing, when you got a friend request, it was accept or deny. It's like, get out of my life. Then it was accept or ignore. Much more passive. Then it's accept or, not now, come on back a little bit, a while. Maybe then, right now, you just ain't in the friend zone. You know what I mean? But the point is, when you find those people, hold on, because I'm telling you what, if you make a commitment to take your book, which is, by the way, is the greatest platform to land speaking engagements, your life will change. I remember the first day I did, my very first paid speaking gig was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And I'm going to share a little bit of my story today, as much time as we have, because I really want you guys to understand how powerful this platform can be. But the entire speaking business is built on one premise. It's value for dollars. You want to know? So if you went to let's just call it a Walmart, because every trip to Walmart's just flat out an excursion. You know what I mean? You go to Walmart. If I dump $1 million in the parking lot, where will all the people be? It's the same with your speaking. The future of speaking is the person who has the most value. That's who the people will be centered around. That's the future of the speaking industry. It's no longer about, I just got to market to the stage. It's first, how do I add value? How many of you guys have ever went to a website and it's asked you to give you your name and they'll give you something free? You know, the whole free movement was created because people wanted to try before they buy. They wanted to see if there was value before they separated with their dollars. Are you with me? Right? I mean, we've all been there, right? But the entire business is on how much value you give before you ask for money. In fact, can I tell you where the speaking industry is going? The entire marketing world and business world in general, it's who can give the most away for free and still have something to say after they pay you. That's where the business is headed. It's who can give the most away for free. Because what can't you find on YouTube, right? I mean, people, I kid you not, I heard this one guy said, you know what? We were going to take my wife to the hospital, but we had the baby right at the house because of YouTube. Did you hear me, ladies and gentlemen? I cannot even imagine how that conversation went. Hang on, honey, the video's buffering. That's creepy. That's so weird, but you can find anything online. So the point is, the most away for free and still have something to say. You know what that will charge you to do, push you to do, make you do? Become a person of profound depth. That's what I love about it. I love where it's going because it will weed out the people that want money and have nothing to say. Have you ever been listening to a speaker and you're sitting there and you're listening to them talk and you're like, wow, this person is awful. They are terrible. Have you ever heard that? Like you're listening to them speaking like, I could totally do better than that. Come on, own it. I know you've all thought that. Some of you are thinking that right now. I saw you look at me like, I thought you'd start nodding. Oh yeah, I've been there like, now. I know where you're at. I hear you. Right? That was me. That's where I started out. How many of you have a picture that just makes you look a whole lot worse than you are? You want to connect with a crowd? Show a crazy picture of yourself before your talk. Why? Everybody has one. Everybody has one. In fact, how many of you, where are my married people? Oh yeah. How many of you feel like you married up? You married. How many of you, yeah, you married up, like you married somebody kind of out of your league. How many of you feel like you could have just done a little better? Just a little bit. Just a little, day in, day out, you're like, you know, I should have waited for the next one. You know what I mean? No, okay, maybe not. No, but that was me. How many of you have been in a relationship with or are in a relationship with somebody completely different than you? I mean, like, when they say blue, you say car. You know what I mean? That kind of different. You know what I mean? My wife is the cool, calm, collected person. Our house could be burning down, and she would be updating Facebook. She would. She'd be like, house is burning down. Coffee was good. LOL. That's her. Me? Well, here is a picture of me. How does that even happen to a human right before the camera goes off? I will never know. I am exactly at a 45-degree angle, yelling something at this girl's ear, apparently. That is exactly what I am doing. But that crazy man right there married her. She is my absolute world. We met in 6th grade. Got married when we were 20, and we've been married for 15 years. She is the only person that has ever mattered to me. I love her more than I can even explain. She is so, and I mean, let's all just be honest, she is so much hotter than me. It's not even, I mean, it isn't even close. Sometimes I'll be walking down and I'll just see somebody be like, what happened? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming out with a new book. You know what I mean? But that's why I speak. That picture right there represents every reason why I speak. When I was in nonprofit, I was working for a church, and I was helping youth because my passion has always been students. One day, a young man named Jared came to our group. And you have any friends, you have any people you know in your life, you can tell if they're having a bad day by looking at their face. You know what I mean? That was him. Came one day, and I was talking to him. He had just had a relationship breakup. He has gone through a very hard life. He lost his father to suicide. His mother, he actually found passed away one morning, and the life just, it just is so far from what most of us experience. Maybe not. Maybe some of you have gone through something similar, but that night changed my life forever. Because he came, he was down. I was encouraging him, trying to build him up, and then send him home. My wife and I went home. I get a phone call. They said, Jared's in the hospital. I'm like, what happened? Apparently that night he walked downtown to the top of a bridge and did an assessment that the cost of living was higher than the cost of dying. And he threw himself from a bridge. He landed on a car which actually saved his life. 4 seconds from death, EMT show up. They stabilize him. He's in and out of stability. They rush him to the hospital. I finally get there, and I'm with the family. I'm trying to encourage them. The doctors come out. We don't know if he's going to make it. And they go back in. They work on him. They get him stable. Then he slips out of stability. Then they stabilize him again. And then finally they got him stable for 2 hours, then 3, then 4. And it was like, he's going to make it. And then he said this, but there's a 10% chance he could wind up in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Now that means there's a 90% chance he won't. That 10% chance happened to be true. And for the rest of his life, he's strapped to a chair because at one split second, he forgot his value. It was that moment. I decided no student in this world, as far as I was concerned, would ever have that doubt without me at least trying to go reach him. Why are you in this business? I hope it's to change people. I hope it's to give people hope in a life that they never thought possible. That's what I hope. Because that's the people we need on stage. Now, why do I start off and I do what I do and I try to connect with you? Why do I do all that? It's because I don't think Jared's much different than a lot of us. Because at one morning, if you're anything like me, you've woken up, you walk into the mirror, you've looked in it, and you wish you saw something different. Speaking, you want to know why speakers really get on stage? It's the cheapest form of therapy. You really want to know why we're up here? It's because we're working through our own stuff. I'm just being real. If I can just be real with you, that's kind of how I am. We're just working through our own stuff. I first part of my career was in comedy, and I did a lot of comedic routines on the college tour. And we always say comedy is just to get over the need for approval. No comedian goes into that because they're addicted to the laughter because it fills the hole that they can't without it. It's just what it is. I think speaking's the same way. Fear of public speaking, 74% of people say, I don't want to get up there. I'm here to tell you, the number one way you can add credibility is to take your book, to connect with people that book speakers, and get on stage and share your story. People everywhere are wishing they had the medicine to their life that happens to live in between the two covers of your book. It's time you stood up and start talking about it. I think speaking is one of the most powerful things in the entire world. It's changed my life. Speaking opportunities, want to know how big the industry actually is? There are 7,000 paid speaking opportunities every day in the United States of America. That's not even global. Just in the States. 7,000 a day. That means there are 2.55 million opportunities a year. That means if somebody did 100 speaking gigs a year, which, by the way, is insane, guess how 51,000 speakers could live in the States at 100 gigs a year. I did 125 engagements last year, 125 days. Day of travel on the end, it's tough. Man, you're just pounding the road. But my point is, we also spoke to almost 500,000 students. The industry is huge. It's a $130 billion industry now. And I would like some of that revenue to be pointed towards your bank because I feel like you know that you really have something to say, right? 5 myths about speaking. Can I tell you the 5 things people believe that aren't true about speaking? Here you go. Number 1, good speakers get booked. That is false. How many times have you been sitting and listening to a speaker and you're like, man, this speech is going to get so much better when he's done? You know what I mean? Yeah, I understand your pain. You know who gets booked? Good marketers. People that know. Let me tell you something about marketing. Those of you who are like, oh, I'm not really a marketer. Marketing is the vehicle that will carry your passion. See, for me, marketing is all about changed lives. Because I see a kid on the other end of the street, or a student, or whoever. Make sense? It takes years to become a successful speaker. I would say you're right for most people, but it doesn't have to. If you have a book, the right positioning, and you have the tools to need, you can start generating revenue. My fee in the college market is anywhere from $4,500 to $5,500, and I can do 125 engagements. You can do all kinds of things with that revenue, but here's the point. There's so much revenue to be had. Only celebrities get high fees. I've generated as much, I don't say any of this to brag, but just to show you, it's so possible. I've generated as much as $205,000 from one single weekend. You can too. It's just a matter of, are you willing to stand up and speak and take your message? If I have a message, I can be a speaker. Only if you can get that message to the people who will pay you for it. That's just the case. That's just the hard facts. And number 5, when I start out, I have to start speaking for free. I remember when I started speaking, somebody's like, you know, you really should start speaking for free. I'm like, yeah, why don't you start speaking for free? You know what I mean? Speaking for free is just for people that don't know how to get paid. Can I just be real with you? Speaking for free is because people don't know how to get there and get money for it. And to me, I'm like, when you go to Walmart and the cashier says, that's $21, and you're like, I want this for nothing. Do you expect to pay when you take value out of a store? Then stop giving your stuff away for nothing. Right? Because what you have is extremely valuable. People should be paying for it. 3 types of speaking. Get paid to speak, speak to sell, speak to acquire. So number 1 is they hand you a check and you get on stage. $3,000, $4,000, whatever. Speak to sell. You come to an event, you come for free, you pay your own travel, but then when you're there, you have a coaching program or an event or a course or whatever, and you sell and you make money. Now, if you have books, let me just make sure you know, if you have books to sell, that's great. But speaking to sell and selling books will be a hard way to make a living unless the crowd is really big. Which that can happen. You can speak to for me being in the orientation market, sometimes 1,000 students are there. Sometimes I'll sell 200-300 books. Well, that's a good revenue stream, but they're all not that big, right? Those aren't all over. And speak to acquire. There's some of you in your local markets can hold little workshops for free and then offer your coaching or offer your consulting or offer your packages. All these speaking is so huge. It's massive. Speaking pyramid, Viki, what time do we have to be done? Almost lunchtime. Okay, so some of you are like, you better get better. 2 minutes. You're generous. I appreciate that. The speaking pyramid, here's the 5 things you need to be a speaker. Identify your magnetic message. You need to say, what am I going to speak about? So let me tell you, by the way, you know what question you ask when you figure out your message? It's not always the title of your book. Your message is what you're passionate about, what you have experience about, and what people are paying for. Identify your market. Who in the world out there will listen? Who's out there? What kind of opportunities, what kind of conferences, associations are built around what I do? I have yet to find a topic. I've yet to find a topic that people would not pay for. In fact, there was a lady that came to me and said, I want to teach old people that after they retire, how to travel and how to have a blast the rest of their life. Who books that talk? I'm like, nobody, but I'll tell you what you can do is create local events and have this like vacation thing of how to make the rest of your life the best of your life. She branded it, worked it, loves it. I don't care what you do, there's a way to generate revenue speaking. Identify your brand. Create marketing materials and promote. Because I'm short on time, do you have those forms? Let's just pass them out so everybody has them. I was supposed to have a little bit more time with you guys. That's okay. I'll be in the back to talk right as you guys go out to lunch. But I do have a package together for you guys today if you're interested. I just threw this together because Viki and I have been working together. I was in a book with Viki. Viki, when did we do our first book? When was I in your first book? A couple of years ago, we met at an event, and I have a course that I've put all of my training in about 35 videos, 20 hours of content, plus I do a live event in here in Los Angeles. I just did it this weekend where I trained for 3 days on how to brand yourself, how to get messaging, and I even teach a section on how to speak, like how to be a good presenter. How do you speak in a way where people are like, man, I want more, not I want less, right? We good? Or did we run out? Okay, so just pass them down. People can look on, and if people are in couples, that would be fantastic. So I put this package together. This thing is usually, I sell it on an automated webinar that goes off online. It sells for $9.97. Because I'm with Viki and because it's her, I threw it together for I think it's $2.97 or something, whatever is on the sheet there. You literally get the course. I'm going to give you the training. What else am I throwing in here? The Speaker Success Toolkit, that's a bunch of forms. So I have my contracts, I have all of my stuff inside the course. I have all the trainings, all the templates, I have everything you need to build a successful speaking business, all in that course. And then I have, you get 2 tickets to my next live event, or you can use it actually within the next year. You come and you hang with me for 3 full days. And so that's another way that you can connect with me. And then the other 2 things that you get is you actually get a free marketing critique. So let's say you put together a 1-sheet or a mailer that you want to send out and get gigs. You can send that to me. I'll actually critique it personally. And remember when Rick Frischman said we had a great website guy? Remember that? That guy will also critique your website. So that guy will look at your website and say, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I worked that out with him. He's willing to do that. So if you guys are interested, this isn't like a get to the back of the room. I will be back there, but our time got cut short, so I just wanted you at least to have the information if you don't. And you can write my email on the top of that, which is mike@algorithmsforsuccess.com. Algorithmsforsuccess.com. mike@algorithmsforsuccess.com. I'm going to be in the back. Bring your form back if you're interested. Let me know, and then I can get you set up. But, Viki, thank you so much. I wish I had more time with y'all, but see me on the way out. I wanted to see the Walmart thing. The Black Friday rush. Where 3 people don't make it, but somebody gets a puzzle piece. That's what I want to see. Thank you so much. And so come on up. There you are. Did she get to keep the puzzle piece? This is for you. There you go. That is good for Walmart dollars at any store. If she goes up, I'll take this. Oh, thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it greatly.
Mike, on the way come on, in case you will not be sorry.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you guys. You guys were absolutely fantastic.